Hello and welcome to The Telescope. Every week we bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market of the world. Today we're using the NIO EC6 behind me as a backdrop to predict what's going to happen on NIO Day 2022, because one of the product I think has some links to this car. It is that time of the year again. I know you think I'm talking about Christmas, but I am talking about NIO Day, NIO's annual flagship user gathering and product launch event. I don't know why they always choose it to be around Christmas though. Back in 2019, when it was still possible to invite international journalists, it took me quite some effort to convince some of them to attend this event at this ungodly time of the year. Anyway, you're stuck with me now. Here are what you can expect on NIO Day 2022. Let me make myself clear. Although I know what is about to happen, I only left the company about 2 months ago. Everything I'm about to say are educated guesses based on current info that's already publicly available. If you're a close follower of NIO, nothing I'm about to say should surprise you. So don't treat this as some sort of huge internal leak, because it isn't. Okay, here goes. The first product should be the 3rd gen battery swap station, because the power products always gets revealed before the cars. According to the patent files, its capacity will increase from 13 batteries from Gen 2 to 22 batteries in Gen 3. Up until this point, all NIO batteries have the same physical dimensions, but a Gen 3 will be compatible with different size batteries. That is a slight hint into the 800-volt batteries that's going to be used on NT3 cars and the mass-market brand codenames as the Alps. Yes, I know we're already talking about NT3 when the NT2 cars is only starting out, but those batteries won't come until 2024. The second product, or the first car, should be the EC7, which is a coupe version of the ES7 or the EL7 in Europe. Prototype of the EC7 has also been leaked before. The biggest new feature we can see from the image is the active rear wing. Interesting to see how NIO will further differentiate the coupe EC7 from the regular SUV ES7, because the EC6 behind me has always been seen as a derivative of the ES6 and not different enough. Another interesting point would be to see if there's any incremental updates from the ES7 to the EC7, because that's what happened on the EC6. By having the advantage of launching later, the EC6 had all sorts of mini improvements from the ES6 that gets correlated onto the ES6 about 6 months later in the next model year. The third and the final product should be the 2nd gen ES8. It has already been publicized on the homologation website. This is it. A lot of people is calling this a leak and an untimely release, and I just want to say it's not a leak. Manufacturers always knew roughly when will the homologation be made public, and the timing of this homologation has nothing to do with the NIO Day or marketing, but with production. It's released now because the mass production and delivery must be very close, and the homologation cannot be made any later. That is the real significance of this release. This ES8 could reach market really quickly. Considering the Chinese New Year at the end of January, March and April time should be possible. The car itself is 60mm longer in its wheelbase compared to the Gen 1 ES8, an identical increase from the ES7 to the ES6, and it has all the Gen 2 hardware that you would expect: LiDAR, 4 Orange chips, cameras all round, and the same 644 horsepower powertrain from the ET7. An interesting point to watch is how will NIO lift the ES8 above the ES7, because the ES8 is an 8-level car. It has to be a meaningful step up from the already very competent ES7. One thing a lot of people may not know is the 1st gen ES8 still to this day is most NIO executives' company car. I'm talking William Li, Li Hongqing, and just about every VP. So NIO is not just building a new flagship for the brand, but is also building a new company car for these top-level executives. That is an early look to NIO Day 2022. I'll be there, of course, meeting lots of familiar faces, and if you can listen to NIO Radio, I'll be your guest commentator for NIO Day 2022. So, see you there.